Now to a News 10 NBC investigation. New York State assessments are underway for students in 3rd through 8th grades, but plenty of parents want to opt their children out of participating.
The district should be more transparent with the parents because it's our choice. It's our children, you know.
Parents in one local district were told there's no legal way to opt their children out of taking the test. But as News 10 NBC investigative reporter Jennifer Lukey shows us, it really just comes down to how you ask.
Jillian Jellison has twin boys in 3rd grade in the Palmyra-Macedon School District. There's been a lot of talk over the past few months about these state tests.
As the teachers in both of their rooms stressed it, this is happening, we take it very seriously. They told them what their strengths would be on certain sections.
But she felt uneasy about how much her boys were stressing over the test, so she went online to find out if and how she could opt them out.
It is an option, and they opt their children out until a later age, just to avoid the test anxiety with such young children. I know I had awful test anxiety, and it didn't really judge my skills academically.
She made a request in writing.
I notified the teachers. I didn't receive any response right away. And then I received this letter.
The letter reads in part, quote, "There is no provision under the law to opt a child out of state testing, nor do districts have the authority to allow this to occur. As such, all public schools in New York State are mandated by the New York State Education Department to require all students in attendance in school on the day of administration to take the scheduled assessment." But parents have been opting their children out for years now. The state keeps data on it. In 2025, nearly 20% of students in Spencerport, Penfield, and West Irondequoit didn't take the ELA or math test.
And in PalMac specifically, just last year, 4% of students didn't take the math assessment and 3.1% of them didn't take the ELA assessment. So what gives?
Well, they don't call it an opt-out. They call it a refusal. If you decide not to let your child take the test, it's reported to the state as a refusal with no valid test score. There are no consequences for students who don't take the test. Typically, they're sent to the library to read or learn independently.
And I felt almost reprimanded in the letter that if you force your child not to participate, they will be shunned to the library almost, is what it felt like.
The PalMac superintendent tells me, quote, "The information we share with parents directly addresses misinformation regarding opt-outs versus test refusals, the outcomes of those choices, and the expectations for students who refuse to take state assessments during testing sessions." In the end, Jillian decided to let her boys take the ELA test last week. She's still unsure about the upcoming math test, but thinks districts could do a better job explaining all of the options that parents have ahead of time.
If the district should be more transparent with the parents because it's our choice. It's our children,
Jennifer Lukey, News 10 NBC.
So let's go in depth now on the data that Jen was referencing from last school year. Let's start with a look at the percentage of students in grades 3 through 8 who chose not to take the state ELA test. In Spencerport, there was an 18.3% refusal rate. In Penfield, it was 17.7%. And in West Irondequoit, 16.3% of students didn't take the test. 15.5% of students in Webster didn't take it either, and there was a 12.6% refusal rate in Canandaigua. Refusal rates for the state math assessments were similar. The districts with the highest refusal rates, Spencerport at 17.5%, West Irondequoit at 16.7%, Penfield with a 16.4% of students deciding not to take the test, Canandaigua 14.3%, and Webster with 13.9%.